Hi, Judy from Bungalow Quilting and Yarn here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that curved edge of a shirt when you're sewing the curved edge of a shirt. So this shirt, it's a man's shirt, but it could be a woman's shirt as well. They're oftentimes have the same curve on the end. So here's the bottom of the shirt, there's the button band, and then there's how that curves, like a nice dress shirt. So it presents a problem when you're trying to sew a hem on this because it's really hard to always be tucking, because when you turn that up, you're going to have to make these little tucks to make this wider edge fit a narrower. So it's because it's on a curve, this is longer than this is here. So when you turn that up to try to make a 1/4 inch seam or hem, you're going to have extra of this, and you're going to always have to be puckering it. So what you do is you take increase your stitch length to be nice and long. I've put mine up to about 5 on a Bernina, and you sew about 1/4 inch away from the edge of the fabric all the way along that whole edge, because that whole edge is curved. All right, so I've done that, and then when you get to the really curved parts, you're going to take a pin and you're going to insert it underneath that stitch, and you're going to pull it up, sort of like it's going to be gathered a little bit. Let me show you. Okay, this also applies to the curved edge of a skirt. So you just take your pin and you've got it underneath one of those, and you're just going to pull it ever so slightly to gather up that edge just a little bit. And sometimes even when you're sewing it, even when you're sewing along that edge, when you increase your stitch length, sometimes that affects the tension to some extent, and it'll just naturally gather just a little bit. But you're going to gather it up a little bit, and then you're going to start rolling it under. Okay, here's the wrong side. You can see it a little bit better because it's not gray on gray on gray in this video. So I've gathered it, not so that it's ruffled, but just so that it's just slightly. You can see it already wants to turn under a little bit. I've gathered it just slightly, and then I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to turn it under 1/4 inch and turn it under again. Okay, so now I've got it pinned, and you can see how flat it's laying. It's laying really nice. Now this is the edge where the seam allowance is, it goes up, so it's actually a concave curve rather than a convex curve. So you're not going to gather, obviously, you're not going to gather that one. You might actually even have to clip it a little bit. I've pinned it, and right now mine looks like it's laying pretty flat, and so I don't think I'm going to worry about that. The biggest worry is right here where you've got that curved edge, and then look at how nice that lays. It lays so nice and flat. And don't worry about if your little stitching line from when you've gathered that edge up, if that stitch shows, you're going to just pull it out later anyways, because you've increased your stitch length to 5, and so it's very easy to pull that out. So it comes out very easily. So I'm going to show you how this looks once it's stitched.